Are we live? Happy Sunday. Let's see, is this thing working? Is it working? I think so. We're off to the races. And we are. Hold on one second. Hey. Happy Sunday. How is everybody? Sorry I could not make it last week. I just needed a break. I'm still trying to figure out California and Los Angeles in this new life, and trying to figure out better ways to produce quality content for you guys. And one of my to-do is make our live streams better. And I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. So thank you. Hey, Anonymous, thank you. So thank you so much for your patience. For those of you that are new, this is really just a chat with family. And I don't share it. I mean, I do. Okay, I do share it in our online support group. We have an online support group for homeless people. And I'm going to go share it now. Oh, it's Halloween. So I used to, we'll start here. So hang on, let me just share in the online support group. And if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, we're going to chat a little bit about jail, prison, incarceration, and drug addiction. I'll get to that in a moment. But for those of you that are new here, we get together on Sundays and we just hang out. Occasionally I'll do something that's more of a webinar type thing, which we might when we hit 1 million subs this week. But the chat room is moderated by Addie and Derek. And Addie is formerly homeless and Derek is currently homeless. And I will argue they are the best chat moderators on YouTube. They're just amazing. Be nice to the chat moderators. And if you guys ever have something you want to talk about, message me. A couple of people, 2 people emailed me about helping produce the live streams. I lost those emails. I get so many emails and comments and messages and tweets and Facebooks and texts. And so please forgive me. But if you're watching this, please email me again. I need some help to make this better. And it's Halloween. And Halloween used to be my favorite holiday. And after this, I'm going to go to Skid Row. And I've never been on Skid Row on Halloween. And I assume it's going to be something else. I'll take my camera and see if I can maybe capture a little bit of it. But I used to have these werewolf feet, right? That I could wear like normal sneakers and put them over my feet. And it was my favorite costume because it was practical. But years ago, and a friend shared his ticket. Years ago, Frank Zappa, I'm dating myself. Many of you probably don't even remember who Frank Zappa was. Years ago, Frank Zappa played every Halloween night in New York City. One year he did a movie premiere. But we would go down to New York City. We would party, paint our faces, or do something crazy for Halloween, get wasted, go see Frank Zappa. And it was amazing. Then the last few years, I lived vicariously through my mom. So for those of you who may or may not remember, my mom was paralyzed before she passed away. But she so enjoyed trick-or-treaters, and she would get up and she would give them candy. I mean, she could barely walk and mobility issues, couldn't really talk that well, but she loved giving kids candy. So the last couple of years, that was my Halloween. And here I am in Los Angeles now. I don't know what it's like because I've been away for 6 years. Used to be Hollywood Boulevard got really, really crazy. And, you know, it's not like the rest of the world in that, like I live in an apartment building. I do not believe that there's going to be anybody walking the hall asking for candy. That said, at the front, where you walk in and you get your packages, there's a bowl of candy. And I probably shouldn't eat any candy, but it's tempting. And I grabbed some candy and I didn't think anything of it, and, went about my day. And then I went back, and it was one of those bowls with a skeleton hand. And oh my gosh, I triggered the skeleton hand and I thought I was going to explode. It was heart attack. It was not good. It was not good at all. I mean, but it was fun. Everybody had a laugh. In Invisible People news, not sure if you guys saw, we were nominated for a Streamy Best Nonprofit. Also nominated is Jimmy Kimball. Kindle is the app on Amazon, right? See, we got to go back later in the day because I don't have enough coffee for morning rants, morning conversations. So Jimmy Kimmel and Mark Roper are one of the other nominations, and the other one is Mr. Beast. So I'm honored to be in that level. But I don't think we have a chance of hell of winning. That's some pretty high competition. It's like one of these here. I don't know which one because they're a little bit out of focus. Is second best YouTube, and Lady Gaga won the best YouTube, which is understandable. Lady Gaga's like really cool. And anyways, I earlier on in the chat, I noticed somebody, Janine Wetzler, was talking about ending chronic homelessness and different things. And Janine, I if you have a link you can share or some more information, it really piqued my interest. BG's in the house. So I'm gonna say hello to some people in the chat, and then we will get on to this morning's rant, and it will be a rant. I don't think I'm gonna explode today. Wasn't like the criminalization rant, but you just don't know. Hey, Tram, hello in the Philippines. Nor 444, I am glad you're out of homelessness. Hey, Laura. Hello to Oregon. Hey, Kit Kat, I'm looking fresh because I just got, Sunday. I'm just going to be canned. I mean, we're family here, right? And I've always been real and vulnerable, and so I get up, I drink some coffee, and I'm still a little foggy, and I run into the shower, and here I am. So that's fresh, but I am wearing the new swag, or one of the new swags. It's not the Patreon swag, but thank you. Julianne in the Netherlands. Hello. Hey, Panda Photographer, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry you're homeless. I will be in New York City in later November. Hopefully you won't be homeless by then, but if we, it looks like you got a YouTube channel. I'll try to check you out. Maybe we can connect. Sharon, thank you. Okay, if I talked about something that's supposed to be a secret, would you guys keep it a secret? Would you not tell anybody? Okay, I can't tell you what it's about. We'll talk about it more next week. Because I gave my word, and if I give my word to keep a secret, I'm going to keep my secret. I did tweet a little bit about it, but then they asked me to remove the tweets. All I will say, and it's not about me, and it's not about invisible people. Watch John Oliver tonight. Now it goes live at 11 if you have HBO. I do not have HBO, so I am not going to be able to see it tonight, but in a day or two, they hopefully will put on YouTube, but I do not have HBO to watch it live. I wish I did. Just watch John Oliver. That's all I can say. Well, I can say it's not about Mark Horvath, and it's not about invisible people, but it is really awesome. Yeah, the unspeakable. I like it. Yeah, but it's a live show tonight, and then they put it on YouTube. I'm in. Hello, Turkey. So that's what I really liked about this time, is that we're going to. Thanks, Jon Snow. I thought this time would be better, except I don't see Dano. Dano's in the UK, because we get more people in Europe and different parts of the world, and but maybe we just have to grow. Bottom line is, I still have to find that right. The right time zone for this. Janine, you're CAEH, Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness. I don't know what you're referencing. If you're referencing where they got that information, it's Functional Zero, which is they ended homelessness on a spreadsheet, and it's all spin. I mean, I believe Functional Zero, for those of you that don't know, let me explain Functional Zero. Functional Zero is if you have 100 homeless people, then you create 100 units for them. And then you can say, well, we ended homelessness because we have 100 units. Doesn't mean that 100 homeless people are using them. Now, I think Functional Zero is a brilliant strategy, but here's the problem. Pre-rant coming. Homelessness is a symptom, not a cause. So the people that are, pushing for Functional Zero, which I think is a good strategy. You're not, unless you fix the affordable housing crisis, a living wage, racism, foster care, domestic violence, drug addiction, mental health, broken criminal justice system, you're not going to end homelessness, functionally or not. So claiming that it's, ended on a spreadsheet is, yeah. Dano. No, we didn't start early. Hey, Dano. Julianne. I'm just, so no, for those of you that don't know, we used to do 8:00 New York time, but here the like today, as soon as I end this, I'm going to go out with the sidewalk project on Skid Row, and I will be out on the streets till 6-7 o'clock, which is a little late. Amin, oh, you know what? I'm going to go find this because it is kind of cool. So Amin, and hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right, is talking about Turkey. There it is. Hey. So this doesn't, I wish this got more. This was really good. And it aired internationally. It aired broadcast and satellite. So this is the YouTube version of it. Where's the chat? So Turkish television, which is their PBS television, asked me to host a half an hour program about homelessness in Los Angeles. So that is what this is. So Amin, check that out. You might, of course, know of TRT. But it was, there's parts of that because it's the perfect storm of homelessness coming. And I was talking about what's going on today before the pandemic. So let's go back to functional zero. So there's organizations, and I get it, they need to, or they feel the need to claim success. Homelessness has been growing, right? I think any of us can drive down the street, turn on the news, look at social media, listen to friends, and we hear homelessness is growing, except from the homeless sector that's saying, hey, we ended chronic homelessness. We ended veterans homelessness. And they were saying that before. Anyways, let's get on. And Dano, as soon as you remember it, it will change. I don't have, hey, Walter, I don't have many pet peeves. I'm really easygoing. There's not a lot that bothers me. I think you can tell somebody's maturity, and I'm not saying I'm mature, but there's people that, everything, they're just complaining. I try to go through the day homelessness upsets me. Criminalization makes me scream. There's things that bother me, but if I'm in line at a McDonald's and it's taking too long, getting upset doesn't make the line move faster. So I try to be really not upset like that. But there's something that really bothers me. And that is when there is a person who has gone through homelessness and drug addiction, and they know what it's like. And some of them might have been on the streets for only a few months. Some of them might have been on the streets for a long time. But they think because their experience, if I got out of homelessness, anybody can, is what they share, their attitude. And I'll use myself as an example. I was homeless. I worked real hard to get out of homelessness, but I had help along the way. And everybody's had help along the way. When you read the newspaper or when you see a tweet, a headline, read the newspaper. God, I'm old. Who reads the newspaper anymore, right? When you see a headline from homeless to Harvard, what's missing is that kid that went from homeless to Harvard had help along the way. Yeah, they worked hard, but they had help along the way. There's people that work even harder than that kid and didn't make it. The thinking that just because I did it, well, what is I forgot the guy's name, and there's a new record. The Bolt was the last record, but the fastest man on earth. Well, he did it. You can do it, right? You could go run that fast, right? Because he did it. You can do it. So these people that are saying, because every situation is different. People are different. They've been raised different. Their environment is different. The situation they're in is different. Their emotional state, their physical state, their spiritual state, everything is different. You can't say because somebody else did something, everybody can do it. You can't. You can encourage people to work hard. You can encourage people to give up. But you can't say because I did it, everybody did it, because that's not true. Where this Grant's coming. Where this really bothers me is there is a small group of people, and some of them are becoming they're becoming popular homeless advocates, that they got sober in jail. They got sober in prison. They were incarcerated. They got locked up and they got sober. So now they push that everybody should be forced into treatment, or they should be arrested to get sober because they got sober. I'm going to do a more produced video on this. I was actually reading up on this. It's funny. So I wasn't going to do a stream this morning. I really wasn't. And then Addie kind of pushed me into it. And I really, if I'd thought about it, I would have probably wore some kind of crazy costume just for Addie. And because I needed a topic. And I started researching incarceration and drug addiction and sobriety. And most people that get locked up, as you can see in the thumbnail, and there's a huge drug trade in prison. There are people that overdose from drugs in prison. The thinking that you're going to get arrested and not be around drugs is ridiculous to begin with. The other issue, and this is what our country does. So Reagan and the Republicans, and I'm not trying to do the left-right thing, Nancy Reagan was very famous, just say no to drugs, right? And Reagan started the war on drugs. And the response was, we're going to put nonviolent drug users in jail. So these are people that their only crime is they smoked some weed, maybe smoked a little crack, maybe shot up or whatever, and now they're in jail. What happens is when you are put into jail, it creates more pain for you, and it creates more pain for your family. So if you have kids, now the dad or the mom is in jail, the sisters, brothers, mothers, whatever, they have pain. They might go out and use drugs, or if they're already using drugs, because usually, people abuse drugs. People use drugs to escape pain. A punitive response, meaning that we're going to lock people up in jail for a health crisis. Addiction is a health crisis. We're going to lock up in jail. The only reason that Reagan and all did that is for-profit prisons. They filled our prison. The United States has more people in jail than any other country, and most of them are nonviolent drug offenders. And what this did is there was for-profit prisons. They're starting to, you could go to Wall Street and buy stock, and a for-profit prison does not make money unless it's full. If there's an empty cell, it cannot make money. So I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but this whole war on drugs was partly, we didn't have a war. This country, sadly, has been built our economy around steel and weapons, and we've got to go to war, and then all of a sudden it all kicks in, and industry grows, and there's money being made. So since there was no war, we got to have a war. Let's put a war on drugs. So now all this funding went into the Coast Guard and police and everything else. And let's start arresting people to fill up these for-profit prisons. When somebody is released from prison, it used to be they would get a couple $100 and a bus ticket home, wherever their home was. Now they don't get anything. So when you're walked out, if you don't have family and friends that are going to come take care of you, you're homeless. If now that you have a prison record, it's going to be really hard for you to get a job. When you get out, I got to say this. Jail, this is what really drives me crazy, right? So there's this very small group of homeless advocates who say, I got arrested, I got sober in jail, everybody should be forced into treatment, or they should get arrested and they will get sober. Jail is a convention for bad criminals. So I've been arrested multiple times. I'm very lucky. I've only done overnighters in jail, meaning I spent a night and the next day I was released. The people in jail obviously got caught. Most people that go into jail, our system, the penal system, lacks services, support to help people recover or change their life. I don't know if recover is the same word, or rehabilitate. What happens is, let's say you're a bank robber and you get arrested and you're in prison. Now you're hanging out with other bank robbers and you compare notes. And when you're released, you're hopefully a better bank robber. And since you can't get a job, what do you end up doing? Robbing banks. Just thinking that I got sober in jail, so everybody should get, sober in jail, is about as ignorant. Majority of people that go into jail do not come out of jail better people. Now, I have friends who've done hard time. I mean, they spent 10 plus years inside federal penitentiaries, and they're very kind. They're very strong people, but they're very in the meek sense. Meek is not weak, meaning they're very reserved. They don't want to go back inside. So they're very careful about all their actions. So there are people that get out and they create a better life for themselves, but they also, there was some kind of support. There was somebody in the family, or somehow they were able to leave the prison and get a hand up so that they didn't end up back where they were. That doesn't happen enough. And Vincent Young just said something, just oh my gosh, that is so and I'm going to say something that I haven't checked on this in a few years, so that I don't know if it's still true. I would imagine that it is, but Los Angeles built a new prison downtown, a new jail, and it is now the largest insane asylum, because we've been locking up people with extreme mental illness, and what if they're a danger to themselves or a danger to others. And it's a brand new, or it was a brand new prison of around 2,000 inmates that was, supposed to just house general population, but now it's listed as the biggest insane asylum because so many people with mental illness are in there, and there's just not enough support, not enough funding to help them. There is a growing push for criminalization. I just read this week, Miami has now passed laws. Hi, Mr. Alfred. Hey, Lady Dragonfly. Lucky, I don't know if it was Nixon. I mean, Nixon, I remember from, I was really young. There is a wonderful, oh my gosh, it's like 20 hours though. There's a PBS documentary, Ken Burns, who's one of the best on the Vietnam War, and Nixon was the tail end of that. But oh my gosh, if you want to, our government, and it's just humans. Humans are messed up. We're just messed up. Gosh, I forgot where I was. To your point, Lucky, it was for my generation. I'm 60 years old. It was the Reagan with the Just Say No campaign that really, really, really comes to light. And it was an error that we weren't having wars. And I remember there was I forgot who did it. There was a punk rock group that just said, just say no, no to Nancy. Just say no, no to Nancy. If you want to connect with Sage, she has her own channel. There's a link in the description. Criminalization is growing in this country. The negative perception surrounding homelessness, there's more hatred. There's political strategies and political campaigns that are just going to amplify the hate. This narrative that forced treatment doesn't work. So many years ago, I wrapped my Mercedes around a parked Cadillac. I blew a .28. LAPD breathalyzed me twice. I'm not proud of this, but they breathalyzed me twice because they said they thought the breathalyzer was broken because I blew so high, but yet I was still talking like a normal person. Court ordered me to go to AA meetings. I didn't get sober for years later after homelessness. This thinking. So I don't know if you guys realize this. Humans are very complicated. We're all different. And somebody might like vanilla ice cream and somebody might like strawberry ice cream. And I know that's a very simplistic what works for somebody. Yes, there's people that go into jail and get sober, but it's tiny. Yes, there's people that get court ordered to go to AA meetings and they get sober, but it's tiny. There's people that go into abstinent-based programs and get sober. That's great. There's people that go into harm reduction programs and get sober. It's all needed. What's really interesting to me anyways is the people that support abstinent-based, meaning that there's no harm reduction, that you just go into this program and there's no drugs. The people that support those type programs don't support harm reduction, where the harm reduction people, those like myself that support harm reduction, also support abstinent-based. I don't support forced treatment because when is the last time somebody forced you to do something that helped change? So addiction isn't a character defect. That's the bottom line problem with most of these people's thinking, is that we can just get them to be better people. Most people, it's instead of treating the addiction, which what we do is we treat people by locking them up in jail, You have to treat the pain, the trauma, the person. Why are they using drugs? Anyways, that's the morning rant. And I was kind of calm. So what are we going to do when we hit 1 million subs? I think it's going to happen this week. EI or L, spot on. Gabor Mate is, I keep on thinking I would love, if I was to have one guest on this live stream, my number one pick, and I've been scared to reach out to him. Maybe he would say yes. I met him once, but I don't know if he would. I don't know if he would join us. Maybe I should ask. I should try. Anyways, as you can see up there, got to get more of a real time. That's our 100,000 silver play button. Right above that is a space for our million. Did I do that? I didn't mean to do that. How did I do that? BG wants a 2-hour live stream. Is that BG wants a 2-hour live stream? What, Eddie? What you want Adam Conover? How? Carrie, I don't know. He is very busy. And to go on a YouTube thing with me, I don't know. Hey, Total Control 871. Yes, Lady Dragonfly, I am. Maria, I don't know what you mean by that. If we could get something done, we get a lot done every single day. Oh, you know what? Oh. Lady Dragonfly, where are you at? I had it on top chat instead of all chat. Hey, North the Laughing Fox, thank you. Addie, you're too kind. Lady Dragonfly, are you guys outside? Or in a shelter? Walter, I went and saw Kenneth this week. Oliver, I was in Norway, I think in 2019. I want to go to Scotland. I have been lucky that many organizations have brought me over to the UK. Not most, all of my international travel is dependent on somebody else paying for it. And I would love to visit. Janine, I know of, I don't, I was once interviewing somebody at a low barrier shelter, which some people call wet houses or wet shelters, meaning that they allow alcohol. And the director corrected me. He goes, I have a beer at home, and we don't call it a wet home. I want to visit Scotland. I am once. I had a friend this morning. He was flying back from the UK, so it's opened up when we cross the pond. I guess you have to have a negative COVID test before getting on the plane and when you get off. So there's some hoops to jump through. Right now, I cannot. Just because I got some other stuff going on. I'm going to be in New York City, going to see the homeless hero and some other people. And I'm speaking my first speaking gig in so long. That's how I used to make my money pre-COVID. That's how I survived. But I'm speaking in Pennsylvania. So once that's over, I'll get across the pond. Hey, Ruben, pleased to meet you. Kit Kat, there's been talk about France a couple of times. I've just never been able to get there. See you, Lady Dragonfly. Where are you guys? Reach out to me. Maybe we'll connect if you're in LA County. Yeah, best thing to do is follow me on Twitter at Invisible People or at Hardly Normal. That's where I give the most real-time updates. Hey, see me. Thank you. Nor 444. I do not know what food share is. A bed detention facility? Do you have a link to that, Nino? I'm going to. Oh, it's I thought you meant like yeah, I did a quick search. It looks like a new jail. Food recovery. My most famous or one of my favorites is DC Central Kitchen. Hey, Lorraine. Yeah, I've been to UK for a couple of times. As soon, probably March. because it'll start to get a little warmer. I need to get to Manchester. I need to spend some time in London, and I would love to get up to Scotland. Hey, Mr. Alfred, you can. I have to jump through hoops for these. I just don't any of the whenever once I got to the point that I was so old I needed glasses. I just didn't like. I didn't like any of the glasses that were available. Thanks, Mike. Dano, that's what makes Halloween the best. So, what are you guys dressing up as Halloween? What are you wearing? Hey, Jay Cleary. I've never been to Cornwall. There's a homeless woman that I interviewed in Manchester who she writes for us sometimes that is from Cornwall. So, folks, let me be the first because you're the family. Thank you. Thank you so much for supporting invisible people. I know when I got to LA, it's been kind of a slow start. There's some things that just have to figure out. But I'm sorry, Walter. Do you need a new battery? But we're it's mind blowing that we have Al. We do have crypto. I don't. I it was on the website for a while, but I can post our Bitcoin. It was on our website, but nobody was donating, so I just took it off. Um, Sorry, my brain is just not working this morning, and I'm trying to remember what I said and also reading comments. I'm speechless that we're going to hit 1 million subscribers. I also feel that it's a very serious responsibility. It's one of the reasons we're slow ramping up because I really know we've built this audience for such a time as this. We built this audience to help educate the public on homelessness. We built this audience to create more impact. We built this audience, and it's not just on YouTube. I mean, we do daily news on Apple News and Google News. Wherever your phone is, you can read what we're doing and research. We've got our 2021 research coming out. We just in the process of getting all that ready. There's so much that we're doing. Our movie, Luciana, is finishing up on the pre-production of the script for a movie about eviction. And it's all really made possible, really. Go down to if I was able to narrow the change, it's been YouTube and Patreon 3 years ago just really started changing everything for the better. And I'm really, really grateful. And I really want to know, what you guys want out of the future of this channel. I really pay attention to what you're sharing, and I really, because it's us, invisible people is we. It's not just me. So what the thing about crypto, at least here in America, for nonprofits, is crypto is anonymous. So people want to donate, but then they want a tax credit for it, and that's not really possible with crypto. And it just wasn't. I had it out there for a while, and we would get a $10 donation from Bitcoin. Somebody would send 0.00000001, and I'm grateful that most of our donations are $10, $20 gifts, and super grateful. But it just was distracting from the other links, making it harder of a user experience. Hopefully I'm explaining that right. So anyways, it's Halloween. Stay safe. Check out the community tab section or follow us on Invisible People, because I'll be sharing a link to John Oliver's show once it hits YouTube. And I just think the world of all of you. Thank you, Addie. Thank you, Derek, for being the best moderators. And thank you all for being part of the Invisible People family. And I am grateful for each and every one of you. And have a marvelous and safe Halloween.